Hi, Kim Wilson back with our last card for the September card class. And I've got two different ideas for you today, but they're the exact same layout. So this is our favorite layout for September. And again, the PDFs are in our private group and the videos will be housed there as well. So a couple different ways to do this, so let's get started. I'm using the 6x6 Inked Botanicals Designer Series paper, so it's easy to get these pieces cut. So let me just show you the measurements here. So the card base is just the Designer Series paper is just the typical 4 by 5¼ inch, but you need 2 sheets because we want to have 2 different patterns, and that's why I have 2 cards here, because I use 2 different sheets. Because if you cut the sheet like this and just flip it over like that, it makes a kite. So I could not figure out any other way to do it than to just cut diagonally and then do 2 sheets and then mix and match to find the best pattern that you like. And I really like this one because it's got the fall leaves on it too. So really a nice paper to work with for fall. So I showed you last time about how to fold towards the mountain. So I'm being careful to do what I said. And then we'll just start putting this together. So we'll get it all ready and then I'll do my stamped pieces. Yeah, so pretty soon the leaves will be turning. They're already starting a little bit here. I think we're supposed to get peak color around the 3rd week in October in the Erie area up here by the lake. So I've got my 2 diagonal pieces on there. So now let's work on our stamping, because that will be next. And there's always, when you cut the 6x6 paper, you always end up with this little piece. So what better way to use it than to just stick it on the inside of your card like that, just to give a little bit more decoration. So just a little tip on using up those scraps. All right, here's my piece to stamp on. And again, it seems like Lost Lagoon is my go-to color here, and with some Calypso Coral accents. So I'm going to show you how to ink up this stamp, which is in 2 different colors. My other sample, I just used the leaf stamp again, which is the easiest way to do it, but kind of fun to have the 2 colors on one stamp. Now, if you have ink spots or the Stampin' Write markers, not the blends, but the Stampin' Write markers, you can also easily ink up the different sections. It's a little trickier with a full-size ink pad, so I kind of wanted to show you how to do that. I'm using my edge that's closest to the end, so I can kind of just tilt it like this and see what I'm doing. So if you don't want to fuss like this, then use the leaf stamp or try your markers or the ink spots that are a little easier to work with. So I've got my Lost Lagoon. I'm going to find my Calypso Coral here, and again I'm going to use the section of the ink pad that's closest to the edge. I don't know if you can see this, but I don't want to look up and mess up my ink pad here, so I'm being really careful to get it all. Okay, looks like I got it, so I'm going to give it a little huff and then go ahead and stamp it on my little piece of vanilla. Looks like I missed a little spot right there, but still looks good. All right, so now I want to do a sentiment as well. So I'm going to grab the coral because I already have it still open, and I did happy birthday on my sample, but I think I'm going to go with just a note because you can just adapt that saying to just about any occasion. So we'll just grab just a note for there, and we're ready to put it together, I guess. Okay, so the ribbon really needs to go on before you put this whole panel on the card. So we are going to attach the first section to the Lost Lagoon panel, but then if you're going to do the knot, you need to do that next. So when I do a knot, what I do is I'm using an 8-inch piece of ribbon, So I'll go and tie my knot in the center and then just kind of flip it around to the back and attach my pieces to the back. And I use tear and tape for making the knots, just because it's easy to just put it across. And then you can peel off the other part to make it stick as well. So you can either leave it and use your other adhesive, or just, you know, add a couple more pieces and use that tear and tape. But I also wanted to show you how to ravel or unravel ribbon today, because that's kind of a cool feature I learned when I was making these cards. So this one has a little bow, and it's the same ribbon. It's the, let's see, this is called Bordered Ribbon, and the color is Lost Lagoon. And Stampin' Up! Ribbon is really the best quality. It comes in really big rolls, so there's 10 yards of ribbon on that roll. So there's my 8 inches of ribbon. And I already explained to you how to do the knot, but let me show you how to do the unraveling. This one's a little tricky, because sometimes you can start pulling and pulling and you end up kind of like I started on this side, and it just ends up in a big knot. So what you can do is just take your paper snips and cut off that edge and try again. So I actually got it going really nicely on the other side. See, that one's knotting up again. But let me show you on this side. I just happened to pull the right piece, and it just comes apart really, really easily like that. So just keep working at it and be patient. You can always trim it off and try again. And just keep, now that one's just, it's not getting tangled up. I'm holding my breath here. It's actually working on the camera. So I'm getting all of these cool small threads in Lost Lagoon that I can make a nice little bow with. Isn't that fun? So it's worth a little frustration if you can't get it right quite the first time. So this is a little thick, I think, for what I want. So I'm going to divide it in half and get 2 bows for the price of 1. And a lot of the Stampin' Up! Ribbons, you can do this too. You just have to kind of play around with it. And you're trying to find that the piece that goes back and forth, because that's the one, if you pull, that it will unravel. Oh, here's another trick. If it's just not working at all, cut off a whole edge, and that way it'll be really easy to get that that piece that's going back and forth and get that unraveled. So just tie a regular knot in here. Sometimes I have trouble with this, but sometimes it's just easier to make 2 loops, and that way I don't lose what I'm doing here. I'm being really brave today doing bows for you guys. I hope you appreciate this. Hey, it's actually working. I've got a little bow there. And then pull it tight. And then I can just take my paper snips, put the ends together, and then trim them off so they're even. This is really fuzzy ribbon. It doesn't want to cut. Okay, so there's my beautiful bow, and I'm just going to put it right there, or I could put it right there and cover up my mistake. I think I'll just put it down here where the stem is. So, glue dots. I have them here someplace. Yes, glue dots are my favorite way to attach bows. And if you get paper pumpkins, save all those extra little glue dots, because those are really handy to have too. So I use my extra paper pumpkin dots a lot. Okay, so that piece is ready to go. And if you want to, you can pop that up on dimensionals, but I didn't do that this time, so we'll just stick that down like that. And voila, we are done. So really fun layout to try. Try that diagonal. Get a couple of different cards out of your effort, because you can do them in groups of 2. Hope you enjoyed the inked botanicals paper, which is a great option if you didn't get a hold of the autumn, All About Autumn paper. Also, some of the papers in the online exclusives in the store are great fall papers as well, with some metallic accents. Anything else I want to tell you today? I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed all 3 cards for card class. Join us over in our private group if you're I'm actually filming this here, but I will post these on YouTube as well. But the group is for my customers and team members, and all the PDFs are posted there as well. So hope you enjoyed this. Maybe sign up for my newsletter. I have more projects there that I show. Anyways, happy fall, everybody, and happy crafting.